Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank our gentlemen for their testimonies. I'll pontificate a little bit as well. Members of Congress travel a lot. That's no surprise. I go back to my district in Iowa every opportunity that I have. I find that it keeps me humble, and also my constituents bring up things to me that end up becoming resolutions or letters or laws. Most recently when I travel, I go through a lot of airports that I'm not sure what you would consider their size, in towns of 200,000 to 300,000 people. In the past two airports I've gone through, the TSA pre-check line has not been utilized. We've all been funneled through the same line and then diverted out of the body scanner to the regular metal detector. But my point in that is that I counted over 12 people going through one line and other people standing around not doing anything. So that leads into my question. So I just want to point out that in several airports, I have seen a lot of personnel who are not actively engaged in screening individuals. They may be actively engaged in other things. So I think understanding from your written testimony that we expected the checkpoints over the July 4th holiday travel period not to have significant delays. But I'm also learning from airports that some had significant longer delays than other airports. And does TSA track in real time the wait times at all airports based on Congress's definition of the TSA Modernization Act of 2018? And who guides in an individual airport how people are assigned?
So thank you for the question, ma'am. So the answer is yes, we do track wait times across all of our airports, which is how we're able to articulate, what our averages are. And we also track the number of what we would call excessive wait times. And hopefully the point I made in my earlier comments is that, for us, we are very focused on making sure that we have all of our lanes open. And what our experience generally is today is that we are having long wait times, but every single one of our lanes is open. That tells us we have adequate staffing in place, and it is simply a capacity constraint of an airport. This is very common, especially now, because most of the volume we're seeing is domestic travel. So a lot of these relatively small airports with one or two or a handful of lanes, every lane is open early, and we are still having these wait times. And on the ground, our federal security directors around the country are ultimately responsible for working with their airport and their airlines to make sure that we understand what the schedules are going to be and we have adequate staffing in place.
Interesting. It hasn't been my experience through these. Again, I'm not sure what size airports you would consider them to be in towns of 200,000 or 300,000 people if that's a small airport. Which leads to my next question. Increasing the number of passengers enrolled in TSA PreCheck would supposedly better enable TSA to utilize its screening resources as travel volume continues to recover. And I think for those of us that fly, we have absolutely seen travel volume increase dramatically. Mr. LaJoy, is TSA promoting enrollment in TSA PreCheck in smaller leisure markets that are experiencing extended wait times? Or, are you wanting people to do both clear and TSA PreCheck depending upon their level of travel?
Yeah, so yes, Congresswoman. So the short answer is, we are absolutely promoting TSA PreChecks. We've got over 400 enrollment centers around the country, and our pre-pandemic daily enrollments was about 10,000 people a day is what we were tracking. We're at about 98% of that now. And in fact, last month, June, was our busiest month for enrollments in the last 5 years. So we are, pleased with the progress that we're making. We still recognize there's a long way to go. But by the end of this year, we will have 3 enrollment providers for TSA PreCheck that can all focus on increasing enrollments. This remains a priority of ours, and we are starting to see PreCheck volume increase along with the general passenger increases we're seeing around our airports.
Great. Well, I really appreciate my TSA PreCheck and not having to take off my shoes. So thank you so much. And Madam Chairwoman, I yield back my time.